and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the city's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we're going to meet with the manager of the Procurement Department and learn a little bit more about her. Welcome, Doris McRae. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine. I'm glad you stopped by.
Hi, I am too.
Now, you are not new to procurement, but you are new to being the manager of that department.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You are also one of the combined departments, so you work for both the city and schools.
And schools.
Now, why is that? You want to explain to people?
There came a time, I guess when in the 90s, they were separate. And they realized that they were doing some of the same duties with the same directorship, but they were getting different type of quality. So at that time, they decided to merge them under one direction so that economically that's better with the dollars as well.
So we're saving taxpayer dollars.
Exactly.
And getting very good standardized results.
Exactly.
By having your folks.
Folks, yes. And at that time when they did that, it like you say, it was very economical to do it for us, the budgets. And it's been working well. A lot of work, but a lot of dollars have been able, because we've been able to combine bids as far as items like maintenance, materials, even doing some of the jobs, we've been able to put them together for as a city and school bid.
Oh, so not only does it save money by having less management and overhead, it saves money by being a larger bid, or being more competitive.
Yeah, the quantities are larger, which make the dollar amounts sometimes with the bids smaller because the bids are with larger quantities.
So people can shave a little money off and put in a lower bid because of they make it up in volume, maybe.
And it helps with the departments that are doing the bid process, because at that time, what they're doing a lot of time is talking to each other and using some of the same scopes and specs, which a lot of times when we're doing scope and spec, we have to go out and get consultants. But sometimes the departments are able to get together and do this process, so that saves money as well. So that is a good feature for this.
I come from the private world where you don't have procurement. You just, go get what you want to go get.
Okay.
Why does the city, why do governments use this more formalized process, which some people might call red tape?
Red tape. Basically, this is done because this is public money that we're using. So we want to make sure that when we're doing the procurement processes, that we're giving competition to the vendors. That is one reason. And with our dollars and going to our different cities, we don't want to make a preference. Preference is illegal in the state. So we want to make sure that we're not that we're going against all of the rules of the state, because we're mainly following the Virginia Public Procurement Act.
So two reasons really, and one is to ensure fairness, to make sure that there's not a good old boy network, that we're not going back to the same contractors every time.
Exactly.
That everyone has a chance to win that public money.
Right.
And then the other one is to make sure we're getting the best deal for the taxpayers, that they're paying the lowest dollar total, not necessarily what a favored contractor might be willing, might decide to charge.
Right. As they say, we can't do favoritism. So that is one of the things that vendors are, and with the minorities and the women-owned businesses, that's one of the things. That is not a favoritism. That's a competitive option that is set so that vendors can get the competition. So there are, and in that case, there are a lot of times that they think it's favoritism, but once we ask a minority and woman business, we're soliciting to all vendors at that time. So it's not selection on that. And that's where now a lot of people are getting the feel for, and they're not supporting our bids, but they're starting back because they realize when they call the office and talk to someone, we're giving them the information that their competent bid will be looked at as well.
Okay. And now you being tied into the state system, I think also saves people money in a different way, which is if another state agency has already done a competitive bid, we can piggyback on that contract and not have to take the administrative time on your staff's part to get new bids. We already know it's the lowest price, so.
Yes, and that is an option we have. It's called the cooperative bidding. And in doing that, what each locality that goes out to bid, they have to put the cooperative statement in their bid package in order for another city or locality or school system to do that. And it's not mandatory that we use it. It's just an option that we have.
I know my department has saved some money by, I think it was software computer purchases that someone else already had a contract and that we were able to get in through that.
And it saves time as well, because once that bid has been done, the city that does it has a contract in place. And we usually do an addendum to that contract.
Now, Doris, how did you get in this line of work? What made you interested in procurement or buying or finance?
I've been with the city for 25 years. I came here from actually a book publishing company in New York.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's a little bit different.
I know, but the reading, actually the strangest thing doing city business was I was working with the school system with the books that I was working at the publishing company.
Oh, so like a textbook.
Yeah,
okay.
So when I moved here and I said, wonder who do the publishing and who buy these books. And that's how I just applied and everything worked out. I'll say that from that year. I started here as a receptionist and just moved up. The boss told me that when I was ready, he was ready.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
So you came in to the school system first or the city first?
Well, no, the city. And the city really quickly merged with the school system.
You know, it's funny, I tend to forget how, in some ways, the purchasing would be the same, but the whole textbook.
That's a different.
Wow, that's a very specialized, but a lot of money.
A lot of money. And in the textbook industry, there's not a lot of competition because a lot of those curriculums are specific.
Yeah, especially when Virginia introduced the SOLs. In so many ways, there weren't textbooks that went along and schools had to purchase supplemental materials and teachers were writing their own. I hope they've come around a little bit now.
Yeah, and it's a little bit easier, but it's the hardest part to that is when the curriculum change. Then there's a massive purchase of books, and sometimes the curriculum leaders get the wrong ones, and so but that time is coming up for us. So
Doris, what do you like best about your job?
I like the variety of change. I like negotiating. Because in there I like to say, someone asks, what do you do in procurement? I go from buying a pencil to a contract of building a building. Wow. So I have so many things in between there that I have to do. There's a few not good, but most of it is pretty good. I've been there long enough. I've learned a lot of the processes, and if I don't have an answer, I can have other localities that I can talk to and find out answers if there's something. And that's a network that we have between the cities as well. Our buyers and managers, we meet in our meetings.
Oh, do you? There's a regional kind of sharing of information?
Yeah, we do it pretty much quarterly, especially with the school system. We have a quarterly meeting and discuss activity.
Okay.
Right.
What is your least favorite thing about the job?
Protests.
When a company or business didn't get the bid,
and they felt that was a wrong to it. And protests can come up. They could be right or wrong in the protest, but if it comes about, it can stop your bid process.
Oh, really slow things down.
Slow things down. And usually someone needs it right now.
I know, we always call you, it's like, please, I need to do this. This is a top priority. How many people call you in a day and said, make this your top priority?
I've had 3 this morning, so.
Already? Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and this time of year, after January, the school systems start their bid process because they're in the process of getting their vendors ready for the summer. Okay. Because that's when they have to do most of the work while the children are out. So the school systems are really roofs and balconies and all of that.
They do all of their capital work in the summer pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you are busy then.
Right, and we do have one big project that's coming out for the city now, so we do, and vendors will in the next month probably see that bid come out as the new courthouse.
Right. That's going to be large when that starts going.
Large one, right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Doris, is there anything I've forgotten to ask you that you wanted to mention?
No, I think we've talked about a lot. It's a lot that goes on in that office.
It is. It's all a little bit behind the scenes, you know, unless you're a contractor or unless you're a city department who's desperately wanting something. And calling you on the phone and saying, please, please, please. Yeah. It's a little hard to see the results of what you do for the average person.
And as you say, calling, we don't mind you calling vendors or customers, because we know there are questions. Sometimes with the bid documents, they can be a little confusing if you haven't done it before. So we recommend that you either call us or Minority Programs. We can't help you with filling out your bid, but we can help.
It is a complex process. I know at my previous job, I filled out a bid for the federal government, and it was a nightmare of paperwork and not understanding how that process is. So it's good that you can at least give people general guidelines. And people in economic development can also help with business development and some other ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Doris, for coming by and sharing with us what you do.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this episode of Round Robin. I hope you'll come back.